OK, so let's start with the Telegraph. And a Met police officer has accused a man of being openly Jewish. Why couldn't you just hide it like you, John?
Yeah, so, yeah, you are openly Jewish. Now, I'm Jewish. I haven't really talked about it much before.
I found out today.
I know, I just told you. We were standing next to each other in the cubicle. But so this is a clip of a Jewish man walking through central London, walking past the march, wanting to walk through the march, as is his right, as a human being, as a Londoner, and being stopped by a policeman who's basically like, look, you're Jewish, they'll see you're Jewish, and that could, that sort of antagonise the protesters here. Now, we've been told for 6 months that these protests, they're peace marches, and everybody's welcome, and it's got nothing, they're not anti-Semitic at all, even though there have been these horrible placards and chants for the genocide of Jews, and yet a Jewish person rocks up, basically just wearing a yarmulke, and suddenly surrounded by police going, no, you can't go here, because you might provoke people being openly Jewish.
Yeah.
And we've got a little clip.
You are quite openly Jewish. This is a pro-Palestinian march. I'm not accusing you of anything, but I'm worried about the reaction to your presence.
Yeah, I mean, you're not living in a kind of multicultural utopia when you have to arrest Jewish people to keep them safe.
Yeah.
I mean, something's not adding up there. And
yes.
The whole thing just looks like a bit of a mess. I almost feel sorry for the police being in a position they are, being paid virtually nothing, to the point where they've got top-down orders to do certain things, and they've ended up getting themselves into this hideous optics situation.
But it's more than optics, isn't it? To me, it's another branch of anarcho-tyranny. It's punishing the innocent. Because I saw a previous example where they were kind of wrestling a guy to the floor saying, you'll be arrested for your own good. And I said, that's completely wrong. And people say to me, no, Nick, it's about pragmatism. They can't possibly arrest everyone. I'm like, no. If you're arresting the innocent instead of the criminals or potential criminals in case the violent mob attack them, that's obviously wrong. And now this is another level of it where it comes to, you look Jewish, so you're going to antagonise a baying mob.
Yeah.
Well, you wait for... What can you... I suppose the argument is, do you just wait for them to commit a crime and to try and attack him? Maybe you have to. Maybe he is taking a risk.
This is the thing. There are people in that video being threatening towards Jews, and the police just do nothing to that Jewish guy, and there are people there going, and the police are not going, arrest that person, because if they did that, they would have the rest of the mob on top of them, and they just want to get to the end of the day. I get that. But they have a responsibility to protect people, to protect innocent people. Jews are, believe it or not, human as well. We should be allowed to walk around our city in peace. Next Saturday, Jews and allies, I'm going to be putting on my yarmulke. When I go to synagogue, I put on my yarmulke for the day. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to have a walk through the city, as many Jews are. It's not a protest. It's not a march. It's just proving a point that we should be able to exist in the city that I was born, my home, and be safe. And that is the police. Their job is to protect us, not to protect people calling for violence against us or even committing
exactly. Well, you'll be arrested for your own good, Josh. That's the bizarre thing. And you have to ask a question. I'm not saying ban marches, but if they believe that the people on these marches will be violent to the point where they're saying we're going to have to arrest you to protect you, that does sort of raise a question about the nature of the marches, doesn't it?
This guy should have just been allowed to go about his life freely. And if anyone was violent or did anything moving towards that, then they should have been arrested. I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah.
People go about their lives. If anyone breaks the rules, you arrest them. You don't just arrest everyone on the precaution. Otherwise, why don't we'd have to arrest everybody who might be at risk of some kind of triggering other people.
There's some weird Minority Report. Well, I suppose you could say, you mentioned optics, the police are worried about the optics of a Jewish guy getting attacked at a march, but maybe, I don't know, but maybe he's taking that chance. I don't know what to do.
Well, he's just trying to exist in the city.
Exactly,
He's just been to synagogue and he was walking through town. The crazy thing is the police are even crazier, is that they put out a statement today that was incredibly offensive and had to have deleted that and now put out a statement to apologise for that statement.
That does seem to be their strategy, doesn't it? It's like, just do something terrible and infringe on people's rights to kind of protect yourselves from this mob and then apologise for it afterwards. That seems to be the strategy.